If you're already subscribed, welcome back, my darling. But if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. While you're down there hitting that subscribe button, also turn that little bell on, turn your post notifications on to become a part of the Morgan Shay Notify Gang. All right, y'all, let's get into part 2 of this paranormal story time. Fully aware that I have no makeup on. I know there's going to be a comment or two down in the comments saying, Morgan, you have no makeup on. I know I don't have any makeup on. I thought that I could do a little bit of skincare with you guys. We are going to pick up at part 2, right where we left off. I had called Sarah, my neighbor who lived upstairs. By the way, if you haven't watched part 1, I'll have it linked up in the cards. I had called Sarah to see if she had heard the noises that were going on in my apartment. She's in full-on tears, crying, and I asked her, I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong? And she said that because if you remember from part 1, I had just gotten home. Sarah had been home. And she said for the past 2 hours, there had been constant paranormal activity going on. Right before I had called her is when I heard that big bang on, like there was a wall that separated the living room from my bedroom. And I had heard footsteps going on in the living room. So I turned around to look towards the living room. Like, I guess just to focus on that room to see if, I don't know. I guess I thought maybe that was going to help me like hear the sound better. I don't know. But I turn around to look, and as soon as I look, I hear this loud ass bang on the wall. And I call Sarah. It's been nonstop, hasn't stopped at all. It's been constant. There's been noises, footsteps, bangs. I've heard claws on the walls. I've heard everything. And I mean, she was in full on like hysterics. I was like, okay, you know, something in me, like I told you guys, it was terrifying. I tell her, you know, how I'm feeling. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of people in my house. And she said, girl, I feel the exact same way. So we decide to get together. So she comes down to my apartment. First, I would say 30 minutes, we didn't hear anything. Like 30 minutes after she got down there, we're sitting on the couch and we had kind of changed the subject. I think in our minds, we were just hoping that if we changed the subject, then all of this shit would stop. All of a sudden, at a drop of a dime, and guys, this gives me full-on chills even talking about it. We're sitting on the couch, facing one another, and all of a sudden, like, there was this huge picture that was on my wall. So there was a big window in the front door, and in between that space was a picture. And underneath that were the keys, like where I would put the keys to my car, etc. And that picture above it just, boom, falls on the wall. Guys, when I tell you all that we jumped up, we were fucking terrified. We both run up to Sarah's apartment, scared to death. Not like in this type of situation you can call the police. I really felt like this was my stalker. And I think it was just me telling myself that. I go up to Sarah's and stay the night. Nothing else happens the rest of the night. We're now going to fast forward. I do just want you guys to keep in mind that during the meantime, like what I'm skipping ahead, there were still things that were going on, but they weren't anything to be noted. It wasn't anything to write home about. I end up getting a boyfriend, and because of everything that kept going on, like the noises that we would hear, scratches on the walls, banging on the walls, loud ass footsteps and stomps, almost felt like we heard babies crying in the middle of the night, which, like I said, we had no neighbors on either side. All I had was Sarah, who was above me, and she did not have any babies. Me and this guy start dating, and we move in together very, very quickly. I was terrified. I did not want to live alone. I was absolutely terrified, and we sped things up super quick. He moves in with me. And this is where things got really fucking bad. Sarah had had her boyfriend move in with her probably 2 weeks prior to this. And I think that was a lot of the reason why I had, we'll call him John, why I had John move in with me. Because she had somebody, and then it was like weird when John wasn't at my place. It was weird for me to call her and say, hey, you know, there's stuff going on down here. Is it okay if I come up there or whatever? When before, me and her kind of were going through this together, and, you know, it wasn't a big deal for me to call her and say, hey, you know, this is going on, whatever. Moves in with me the night The very night he moved in with me. So guys, we only lived together for 2.5 weeks. The first night that this man moves in with me, we're laying in bed. It's the middle of the night. We are both full on asleep. And I go into full sleep paralysis. And in this sleep paralysis, I see this older woman holding a baby. Now, this shit gives me chills to this day. Ugh. I see this old lady, like old lady, like probably in her late 80s, holding a baby. And her back is to me. So I'm walking in this sleep paralysis, I am walking into my bedroom, and I see this woman looking out the window with her back to me holding a baby. And at first I can't see the baby's face. And then all of a sudden the baby looks up at me, and it is full on like demonic looking, like just not human. I can't move. I'm in full sleep paralysis. If you're not familiar with sleep paralysis, basically your whole body is paralyzed. Like you can open your eyes and look around and shit, but like my body could not move. Kind of looking around, but I'm also scared to look around. Like I felt something else in there aside from me or John. And I look to my left, and I see this old fucking woman standing beside the bed with that baby. And when I look at them this time, the woman's facing me at this point. This old lady's facing me, and the baby's back is towards me. And I closed my eyes real quick, and I just knew, like, if I opened my eyes, they're going to be this close. Like, I felt that. I felt them this close to me. And mind you, when I was looking this way, John was right here, and I felt them right here in my face, and I did not open my eyes. I forced myself to fall back asleep. It took me forever, and I felt them there the entire time. It was absolutely terrifying, but I forced myself to go to sleep. That was the very first night that we were together. Later, we had been out to eat, and it had been a hard week. Like, things were continuing to happen, and John had already experienced shit already. And like I said, things were getting a lot worse, and they were a lot more like often. Like, things were happening every single night, always between 3 and 4 in the morning. So we get back from dinner, we went on a date night. We were trying to just like get our minds off of things. At this point, there was no me blaming this on my stalker. I'm putting our leftovers in the refrigerator, and I feel arms wrap around my waist, and I think that it's John. And I turn around to like give him a kiss, and nobody's there. I stand there for a minute, like almost waiting and for John to come around the corner or something, like he was fucking with me or whatever. I just stand there for a second, like almost waiting for him to like come around the corner, like thinking that he's like fucking with me or something. He never comes. And so I walk into the living room where he's at, and I was like, please tell me that you just put your arms around my waist. And he was like, no, I didn't. I was like, please, like, tell me that you put your arms around me. And he was like, I don't want to lie to you, like that didn't happen. Look at him, and I was like, something just put their arms around my waist, and I felt their body up against my back. And he just rolls his eyes, and he was like, what do we do? And I said, I don't know. I feel like we should leave. Oof. So we sat in the living room for a minute, and we talk about moving out. And I go to the bathroom that was downstairs. I had to go to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom, come out, and he was like, yeah, I agree with you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, you just said that maybe we should give it like another month before we like rush into anything and move out. No, I didn't say that. I was in the bathroom. I didn't say anything to you. And he was like, Morgan, it was your voice. And I said, John, I swear God strike me dead, I did not say that to you. Whatever put their arms around me in my kitchen, it felt like him. Like, you know how you can feel someone kind of their presence with you? It felt like John in the kitchen.